Johnson, the former inmate whose life sentence the president commuted at the urging of Kim Kardashian West, will also speak.
He had the ability to save my life from life in prison, yes. He is the one who released me from that terrible sentence.
More than 1,000 guests are expected on the South Lawn for the president's speech, as he officially accepts the party's nomination for a second term.
I hope that he also looks to our future and talks about bringing this nation together.
Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris will deliver a pre-buttal this afternoon, blasting the president's record on the coronavirus and racial injustice.
The White House says tonight's guests will be tested for COVID-19. They will also be treated to a fireworks show after the president's speech. Congressional Democrats have responded to what's happened at the RNC so far, claiming it violates laws about campaigning on federal property. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says a naturalization ceremony at the White House for the convention is against those rules. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House is investigating Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's speech from Israel. He is the first Secretary of State to have given a political speech at a convention. And all new this noon, a new series is coming to 7 News called Take a Tour with Taylor. Yep, that's me, where we see how businesses and people do everyday things during the COVID-19 pandemic. And this week, we saw firsthand how one real estate business adapted to buying and selling homes, plus one how local resident dealt with putting her home for sale and turning around and finding her dream home. Take a Tour with Taylor airs tonight on 7 News at 5 and 10. And for the first time in nearly 10 years, the Cleveland Zoo has a baby koala. The zoo says the baby left mom's pouch on Tuesday and climbed onto her lap. Baby koalas usually stay in the pouch for the first 6 months, and zookeepers noticed pouch movements back in May. The baby is the first for the mom, Mackenzie. Visitors can check out her and her baby at the zoo's Australian Adventure section, sharing some koala time. Up next, Zach has a look at the weather situation here and more about what's happening in the South. We'll be right back.
The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
The end of summer event is on at your Toyota dealer, meaning right now is the best time to save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of, like an off-road ready 4Runner or a rugged Tacoma, both available with $1,000 cash back. Or go in an adventurous RAV4, the best-selling SUV in America, and get $1,500 cash back. Take $1,500 back on a stylish Corolla or $2,000 back on a sporty new Camry. Or get $2,500 cash back on the rugged half-ton Tundra. You can even drive away in a spacious Highlander with enough room for the whole family right now with $1,000 cash back, plus $500 bonus cash from Toyota. Shop for more great savings at Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Bonus cash must be applied toward down payment. Some offers may exclude TRD Pro models. See your dealer for details. The end of summer event is on at Toyota. So go see your dealer today. Offers end August 31st. Toyota.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. Well, look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, otherwise partly cloudy through the afternoon. Daytime high near 83, overnight low of 69 degrees, partly cloudy skies. You'll see clouds, limited sunshine for your Friday, with temperatures in the lower 80s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
It is getting old. Kids are different today. I hear every mother say, mother needs something today to calm her down. And though she's not really ill, there's a little yellow pill. She goes running for the shelter of her mother's little helper, and it helps her on her way, gets her through her busy day. Things are different today. I hear every mother say, cooking fresh food for her husband's just a drag. So she buys an instant cake, and she buys a frozen steak, and goes running for the shelter of her mother's little helper, and to help her on her way, get her through her busy day. Doctor, please, some more of these outside the door. She took more.
And good afternoon. Thursday, August 27th. Hopefully everything is okay with you out there. With me, I don't know anymore. Things that have happened in the past 24 hours. You know, I always like my platform of sports, but all of a sudden sports is like the number one venue on everybody's plate today because of 3 games being postponed in the NBA, 1, 2, 3 games being postponed, Major League Baseball, and, the protests continue with the athletes now. And I always said to guys like LeBron James, play basketball, stay out of politics. But maybe that I was wrong on my part. But it looks like, and every minute there's changes. This is breaking news, so we'll start off with that before I tell you about my friends at FanDuel. Players have decided to resume the season following Wednesday's protests, but tonight's game have been postponed. Hockey didn't do anything yesterday, just played their games. The Boston Bruins gave up 3 power play goals, losing 7-1, and then Dallas played Colorado. Colorado won, so Dallas still leads that best-of-7 series. As far as baseball is concerned, I think the Pirates are still going to play the St. Louis Cardinals this afternoon. It's game 1 of a doubleheader. Remember, when they play doubleheader games, it's just 7 innings. After winning 3 in a row and people got excited about the Pirates, they're back? No, they're not. They're not back. They won't ever come back. They lost 2 in a row to Chicago, including yesterday when Chicago belted 4 home runs. Yeah, okay. What if the Pirates just played your Tigers the rest of the season, Lola? Then that would be exciting. Me and you can go back and forth every day.
Yeah. Fighting for the cellar.
Yeah.
How interesting would that be?
And there's no reward for that.
Wasn't one of those home runs? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I knew when I was talking.
452 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But weren't bases loaded when he hit it? Grand slam. I think that's, I might have not heard that right because I was getting dressed this morning.
I was watching clips this morning and all I saw was each batter hitting the ball and was gone. I didn't have the sound up.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, they are just unbelievable.
Yeah. And before the season, if you would have said, well, this team is averaging 2 or 3 home runs a game, I said, well, what have you been drinking? But they're for real. From 1 through 7, they have great hitters. A couple of them are like in their mid-30s, and they're just hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And they got good pitching. The kid the other day pitched a no-hitter. I was rooting for him,
Now, see, if this were the real season, when it started in April,
yeah,
they'd be off on a tear this first half.
Ooh.
And then the All-Star break would come, and that's when a lot of them crash and burn, is after the All-Star break. So I just hope, okay, they got this big streak going, they're going, great guns. Don't let them crash and burn in the first round of the playoffs. I don't want to see that happen. You know, you're doing so well, just do it. Just do it.
They're fun to watch, too.
Well, yeah, everybody loves watching home runs.
Yeah.
If it's your team. If it's not your team, you're going, oh, no.
And what's their record now? 7 and 19 or 20? I don't know. I don't care.
Who, the Pirates?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I could look it up real quick.
I got to get your thoughts on this, okay?
What?
Because, you know, you're a smart individual. I enjoy your opinion at times.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of the walkouts yesterday with the team saying we're not playing?
You know, this country, it revolves so much around sports. I mean, you know, people are dying all over the place. People are they're sick. And a lot of people are saying, we want our baseball, we want our hockey, we want our basketball, we want our football, we want our college football. If that's what the focus on this country is, then that's where they're going to make the most impact. Because that, you know, everybody, all the other stuff just kind of goes by the wayside as long as everybody's got their sports. If athletes can bring more and added attention to a problem, then good for them. And as far as, well, like with the Tigers yesterday, they had a team meeting before the game, and the players unanimously said they wanted to play because their reasoning is we're a family and we have each other's backs. But had they voted not to play, ownership and management were behind them 100%, as were the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brewers. You know, their owners and management were behind the players, whatever they decided to do, if they felt they could make an impact. And I believe that. Sports, athletes can make a decided difference because people are so involved with their teams, you know, so.
The Lakers and the Clippers got together and said, let's just go home for
Yeah.
the rest of the season, but that's not going to happen. I'll tell you who's taking a beating today, the National Hockey League. The NHL's lack of action on Wednesday says a lot about how the league feels about its black players and fans. So, I don't know.
Now, again, do they actually know what was said in the locker rooms?
Captains of all the teams had something to say, but
I know, but did, you know,
the league, I don't know.
well, the league, you know, the teams are what matter, particularly. I mean, if the team doesn't go out, they don't go out.
Yeah.
You know, what's the league going to do?
Nothing. Oh, boy. You know, this is for me is a nice diversion doing sports. But I learned a long time ago, too, and the big 3 words, okay, or the 3 big cliches, I think it was taught to me by Depression parents. You know, whether you're at a wedding, whether you're with a group of friends, whether you're just BSing with somebody in school, you stay away from politics, religion, and race. I'm trying to do that now. But I want to get involved because as a white old guy at 68, I don't know what to do other than listen. What are you going to do, Lola? Listen, right? What can we do, me and you?
Listen and offer support when we can. You know, that's the problem. Not enough people are listening. They're only hearing what they want to hear.
Yep.
They're not listening to the other side. They're just hearing it. And if you don't like what you hear, then you take an antagonistic slant to everything.
What do you want me to do with FanDuel? You want me to do one now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you really couldn't bet on the NBA yesterday. Because there were no games. They were canceled, okay? How about the PGA Championship? Yeah, you know, can Tiger make another comeback? Major League Baseball looks like they're going to play at least in St. Louis. You don't know. It's minute by minute. That was a good song by the Doobie Brothers, by the way. You don't know how things are going to change. It's like COVID-19. One governor may say this and then say something an hour later. All the states that I'm involved with, Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, all three governors, it's like the weather. You don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to be thunderstorms or sunny and warm? I don't know. There's Major League Baseball. The National Hockey League will continue tonight with some games. But FanDuel is there because they're America's #1 sportsbook app, and here's why. This app is so easy to use. You can even bet like $10 to get $200 on a team that might go all the way and win the NBA championship. But you got to play to win. Sounds like the Pennsylvania and West Virginia lottery, doesn't it? Yeah, you got to play to win. And once you win, how about this? FanDuel pays you out in as little as 24 hours. Best of all, FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free. Just place any bet where you want and get up to $500 back if you don't win. There's all kinds of direction here for you. You can bet on the NBA Finals, what team, pick a team, $10, whatever. Or you can just do other betting with FanDuel Sportsbook. They have so many avenues of ways for you to make some money. It's unbelievable. And you get paid right away. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up and with promo code WKKX so they know I sent you. Well, we sent you. I don't like the word to use I, since this is a team effort here. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code WKKX. Remember, you got to be 21 plus and present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only. See sportsbookfanduel.com for terms and restrictions. Gambling problem? I suggest you visit www.1800gambler.net. I've had to make a few changes on guests. I thought I was going to have John Stallworth or Donnie Shell to talk about my good friend, one of the first people I met coming into the Steelers office in the mid-'70s, and that was a scout by the name of Bill Nunn. He is the guy that found guys that nobody else knew about, like John Stallworth, like Donnie Shell. Both are going to the Hall of Fame. Well, the news came out yesterday that Bill Nunn will be going to the Hall of Fame as a contributor to the National Football League. Couldn't get a hold of Stahl. Donnie Shell's at a speaking engagement at this time today, and tomorrow he's leaving for vacation. So I got my good friend, Joe Gordon, the best PR director I ever worked with, and a lot of people who are still living will say he might have been the best in all of sports. He knows all about Bill Nunn and some of the scouting secrets that Bill was fortunate to come through when back then they didn't have computers. You knew about everybody that was good, and Joe Gordon will join us at 12:35. Coming up at 1:05.
Got a phone call.
Okay, hold on. Coming up at 1:05, where's my sheet? There we go, Bill. Unexpected, but it's big news here. The West Virginia Rough Riders officially up for sale. Lola wants to know if she can buy stock if I buy the team, right? Greg Fernario will be joining us. I think he's still the general manager. He owes me a dinner because I bet him his Jets wouldn't go to the Super Bowl, so he owes me 2 dinners. Right now we're going to go to the phone lines. Hello.
Bill.
Yeah.
You know how lucky I am, don't you?
Who's this?
It's Dan.
Dan.
Oh, what's up, Dan?
Well, I'm going to tell you a funny story. My grandfather, he had 5 brothers. 2 come to Ohio. They lived in Martins Ferry. 2 lived in Mexico, and 1 stayed in Sicily, okay?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, you know how people are. They send money back to the old country, okay?
Yep.
So I go back to old country about 7 years ago, and my great uncle Giuseppe, for the last 50 years, he's been picking 4-leaf clovers off the railroad tracks, okay? So when I go there 7 years ago, he gives me this big candy box from like the 40s with all these 4-leaf clovers in it, okay?
Okay.
And my luck has been great. I got a call last night. Giuseppe died. You know how he died?
I have no
With
idea.
his head bent over on the railroad tracks, picking 4-leaf clovers.
He got run over by a train?
Picking 4-leaf clovers.
Oh, okay. Wow, is that strange?
It was lucky for everybody but him.
Yeah. Well, I saw you I saw you the other day at the restaurant. Did you win? Because I know you were scratching.
I think it was 170 that day.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was gonna put like $50 on Portland to beat the Lakers, and that's what everybody should do. Everybody should just put like $50. If you win, you're gonna win a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
But $50 is not a whole lot of money in today's day and age. You know what I mean?
Oh, by the way, I went to Best Buy and got another turntable, so I can use those Presley records.
Oh, you know what? I got them in my dining room. Yeah.
Okay.
There's like so many different kinds of Elvises. And
Yep. I'm listening to records now because it makes me feel young, and it's a diversion away what's happening in 2020. So, I'd appreciate
Patty
anything.
Page and Les Paul and just like stuff from the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
You know, your era.
Yeah. What about your era? You're not exactly a young person.
Well, you know, 68, my mother and father conceived me and they went to Woodstock and I was born. And then we followed the dead for about 30 years or so. Nobody really remembers because it was a long, hard trip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad, Jay.
Oh, boy.
Really
Dan.
bad.
Later.
Oh,
Bye.
Dan. Oh. Every time I go there, Scott and his brothers, you know, they said, you know, Dan won again? Yeah. And then when you walk in the store, right where they have the coffee machine by the newspapers, there's a huge story on Dan, on his winnings. So he is a lucky charm. And yeah, interesting story about the four-leaf clovers in Italy. Okay. Dan is a unique character. Joe Gordon will be joining us at 12:35 to talk about Bill Nunn. 1:05, I don't know if he's still the GM of the team, but it's for sale. Greg Frenario will be joining us. And at 1:30, Casey Tucker will be talking to us. So, and then tomorrow we start Football Friday. I'm calling it Variety of Sports on Friday because Greg Brown, who was doing a baseball game, couldn't be with us today. So I'm going to insert him in the first couple of minutes. I'll be here from 12:30 to 3. And then when I'm done, we go through the walkthrough, okay? Then we go to Morgantown for, what's his name, Lola? The voice of the West Virginia.
Caridi?
Yeah, Tony Caridi. Oh, Tony. Sorry, I forgot your name. Because, you know, not only is he the voice of the West Virginia Mountaineers, but he also does a pretty good talk show on Fridays. So, yeah, a lot of Mountaineer talk tomorrow, too. So I know we have Coach Yoder on, Reno on, Coach Halinka, and I think there's one more I may have forgotten. We'll get a Steeler update. I think they are practicing this afternoon. I've been checking in with Ray, and his phone's been busy, so I'm sure he's working on a story. So I'm sure we've heard something on the cells because, what is it, the Lions, the Colts, and I think the Jets have postponed practice. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on anymore in sports. Sports right now is like headlines, all right? Used to be a diversion. What's a diversion anymore? I know. We got to take a break. We are the Watchdog, AM 1600, FM 98.1. We'll come back and talk about Bill Nunn, another Steeler that will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021.
Learning you have cancer is very serious. So when choosing a hospital, consider one that has these 3 essential elements: radiation oncology, medical oncology, and surgical oncology. You'll find all 3 at the Schiffler Cancer Center of Wheeling Hospital. We provide clinical trials, conduct research, and treat more patients than any area center. Plus, we have the region's only accredited comprehensive cancer program. Now that's cancer care close to home. The Schiffler Cancer Center of Wheeling Hospital.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The end of summer event is on at your Toyota dealer, meaning right now is the best time to save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of, like an off-road ready 4Runner or a rugged Tacoma, both available with $1,000 cash back. Or go in an adventurous RAV4, the best-selling SUV in America, and get $1,500 cash back. Take $1,500 back on a stylish Corolla, or $2,000 back on a sporty new Camry. Or get $2,500 cash back on the rugged half-ton Tundra. You can even drive away in a spacious Highlander with enough room for the whole family right now with $1,000 cash back, plus $500 bonus cash from Toyota. Shop for more great savings at Toyota's official website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Bonus cash must be applied toward down payment. Some offers may exclude TRD Pro models. See your dealer for details. The end of summer event is on at Toyota. So go see your dealer today. Offers end August 31st. Toyota.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. 145 new cases of COVID-19 reported in today's update from the DHHR in West Virginia. The total active numbers of cases are 1,749. That ups the positive daily test rate to 2.35%. Hospitalizations are at 143 with 42 in intensive care. And there were 3 new deaths reported today, all women. They include a 61-year-old from Logan, 72-year-old from Mercer County, and an 87-year-old from Ohio County. Also of significance, Kanawha County, the state's most populous county, is now in the orange category on the statewide alert map maintained by the DHHR and the Department of Education. The map to determine the status of in-school classes or extracurricular activities, including sports. If the status does not improve by Saturday's update, there could be no football on opening Friday night in Kanawha County. Governor Justice is talking more about the COVID-19 situation at this hour. It's live at WBMetroNews.com. Now, Logan County has been through a summer surge of COVID-19 cases, but in recent days has seen an improvement. Senator Ron Stallings of Boone County is a practicing physician and says people are starting to take the pandemic seriously.
When you see or hear of your neighbor dying, it has definitely jerked a knot in our populace down here as far as trying hard to mask and things like that.
Logan was in red for days, but is now up to orange, and Monroe County is in orange as well. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. About 15,000 remain without power on the Appalachian Power System today due to overnight storms. Mon Power and Potomac Edison dealing with about 3,200 outages today as well. Those are from storms last night. 10 West Virginia women recognized earlier today for their contributions to the state. The awards were part of the Women's Equality Day in West Virginia, marking the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment that guaranteed women the right to vote. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kirchville. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock for Talkline. We'll talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia, top political figures, sports personalities, sometimes just plain folks offering their opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places. But the horns, they blowing that sound.
And we're back with another segment of the Variety Show. I'm Bill DeFabio, across way behind the glass, Lola Miller. good sports news coming up. No boycotts, no walkouts, no grumbling, just great news. Another Steeler going into the Hall of Fame. One of the first people I met coming here from Boston was a gentleman by the name of Bill Nunn. I knew a little bit about him. They called him Super Scout. And here's a guy to tell you why. Bill Nunn is now a member of the Hall of Fame. And Joe Gordon is with us. He was the PR director, maybe the best I've ever worked with any sport. He'll say, come on, Bill. Hey, Joe, it's nice to talk to you again.
Hi, Bill. How are you? Hey, Bill Nunn isn't in the Hall of Fame yet. There's a formality. He has to be voted on. He has to get 80% of the votes. And like I said, it's just a formality, but he will get in. There's no question.
Well, I was watching a video the other day, and I guess somebody from the Hall of Fame in Canton was calling his daughter, and I thought, sure, he said, I'd like to tell you the good news. So maybe that was about being
I
finalist.
think he was just calling her to tell her he'd been nominated
Okay.
and was a candidate. But like I said, it's only a formality. And the weekend of the Super Bowl, he'll be formally inducted or enshrined, and then will be inducted in next year's Hall of Fame ceremonies with Donnie Shell, Troy Polamalu, and Bill Cowher.
Wow.
So it's going to be a terrific Steeler weekend.
Oh, yeah. And hopefully, the people in Canton will be allowed to have fun, and there'll be a football game played. If it's not the Steelers, who cares, right? But it's going to be a lot of black and gold in Canton. So.
Yes, there will be, no question, which is great. I mean, it's just a tremendous testament to the Steeler organization, the Steeler fans, and of course the Rooneys, particularly Art Rooney Jr., who worked so closely with Bill Nunn those many, many years when they came up with those just incredible drafts. And free agent signings, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was the one that found, 2 Hall of Famers in Stallworth and Shell.
Stallworth and Shell, plus L.C. Greenwood, who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, Joe, you're right.
And another guy who was really a great player for a short period of time, Fats Holmes, who played on the Steel Curtain with L.C., Joe, and Dwight White.
Yep. And it was Bill Nunn who was a newspaper writer, right, with the Pittsburgh Courier.
Yes. The story behind that's interesting. Every year he picked the Pittsburgh Courier all-black college all-American team, and they would have a banquet in Pittsburgh to honor these players. And the Steelers, Dan Rooney called Bill Nunn one day, said he'd like to talk to him. And Bill was a little reluctant. He was not happy with the Steelers because they really weren't that involved in scouting black football players at the black colleges. But he reluctantly agreed to come in a meeting with Dan, and he expressed to Dan his feelings that you guys really haven't been supportive. Sometimes I even have trouble getting credentials for the games, the Steeler games. But eventually Dan talked to him. He was very impressed with him, and he offered him a position. And at first Bill was reluctant. He really didn't want to, but Dan convinced him to become a part-time scout while he still remained at the Pittsburgh Courier as their sports editor. And after a short period of time working with Art Jr., everybody was really impressed with his ability to evaluate talent and his contacts in particular at the black colleges. He was on a first-name basis with all those head coaches, so he really had an advantage in scouting those players, or those coaches would occasionally tip him off to a player who may not have received a lot of recognition, but these coaches felt that he had a lot of pro football potential. So it was really a great matchup, and Bill and Art Jr. worked together very well and came up with these fantastic drafts. And I think you know the story of Stallworth. When they timed them the first time, the few pro scouts who were down there, it was a muddy field, and John had a poor 40 timing. But Bill Nunn went back the next day and timed them again on a dry field, And John came up with a great speed. And then there was also a game film from Alabama A&M that Bill had, and it was a very impressive showing by Stallworth in that film. So at that time, the teams used to exchange films. Was long before the technology we have today, but they would get game films and then they'd pass it on from one team to another. So what Bill did, he just held on to the Stallworth film and didn't pass it on.
He was ahead of the game.
Today you can't do that because everybody gets all the information. But then on draft day, Chuck Noll wanted to draft Stallworth number 1. And Bill and Art Rooney Jr. Persuaded him. No, I say if we pass on Lynn Swann, who was an All-American from Southern California, and everybody knew about him, if we passed on him, he wouldn't be available. But they felt that Stallworth would be a little later on, because he came from a little-known black college, Alabama A&M. So. Chuck acquiesced, and the rest was history. They got Swan in the first round and Stallworth in the 4th round. And the other significant thing of that draft was the signing of Donnie Shell as a free agent. And I think it was only because of Bill's contacts with the coaches at South Carolina State that Shell decided to come with the Steelers. The coaches down there told him you'll get a fair shake-up at Pittsburgh because of Bill Nunn. And, of course, Donnie came in first as a linebacker and then was switched to strong safety, where ultimately he became a Hall of Famer. But without those two guys, and L.C. Greenwood and Mel Blount and Frank Lewis and Ernie Holmes, there's no way the Steelers would have won 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I'm looking at that 74 draft now. Donnie, Lynn, Lambert, Stallworth, and Webster. That'll never be duplicated.
No way. 4 guys in the same draft go into the Hall of Fame, plus a free agent. You know?
I mean, that's unbelievable. That's
it's incredible. You know? It's incredible, but it's a tribute to Bill Nunn because he was so instrumental in the success of the Steelers.
You know, Joe, I don't have a vote. Why aren't you in there as a contributor?
I don't think it comes down to the people like me who were communications people and PR directors and marketing people. I think were, and Bill's very deserving, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, another thing about Bill that people probably don't know was he was really an outstanding high school basketball player at Westinghouse High School. And he wanted to go to LIU, Long Island University, which at that time was a very strong basketball school, and his father wouldn't let him go. Insisted he would go to a black college, and that's how he wound up at West Virginia State, and he had a great career there. And he was also offered a position, a tryout or a job with the Harlem Globetrotters. That's how good he was. But he looked at it and he said he didn't look forward to riding in buses for 12 months every year, and decided to follow in his father's footsteps with the Pittsburgh Courier.
Wow. Let's see. Good athlete, pretty good writer.
And a good person, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
You knew him.
Yeah.
So friendly and agreeable, always had time for everybody, and just had a great sense of humor.
You know, there was a time, because I don't think we'll see this again, I think it'll be a while before I or anybody else in the media can do one-on-ones because of COVID-19.
Right.
I don't know if you'll even see us in the cafeteria, you know, where we eat with coaches and players. But Bill Nunn would always, if he's standing in line getting food, he would see me, Joe, and he'd come over and say, hello, how's the family, you know?
Exactly. That's the type of guy he was, and just a great, great honor for his family and the Steelers, and just the whole black community that he's being, I guess, the first scout to ever be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, exclusively a scout.
I got to ask you this, Joe, because you were with the team in '74. I'm clearing out my sports attic. I think I have all the sport magazines, Sports Illustrated from the last 40 years. I got to get rid of them. But I came across one where on the cover was number 17, Jefferson Street Joe Gillum, and the headlines was Black Quarterback in the NFL. What kind of flack did he receive or the Steelers receive in the community being a black quarterback starting, and I think didn't he go 6-0 to start the season?
No, 4-1-1.
Okay.
And there was the controversy during that was the year of the strike too. So the players, the veteran players struck, and it was interesting that Joe, being a rookie, he came in. He broke the he broke the labor situation. Then a week later, Hanratty came in, and 2 weeks later, Bradshaw came in. By that time, I think the strike was over, but Joe had a head start on those other guys. He was very, very impressive, as you know. He had a great arm.
Oh, yeah.
He was a great athlete. He was tough. But anyhow, yeah, there was a lot of controversy in Pittsburgh as to Gillum, as was pronounced, was going to be the starting quarterback, and there was some racial unrest among Steeler fans, and it's unfortunate because even now, 46 years later, we're going through the same experiences, and it's just unfortunate. But yeah, Joe started the first 6 games, and Chuck came to the conclusion that you couldn't win throwing 40 or 45 passes a game, and he went back to Bradshaw, and of course, we win the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, but he had a hell of an arm. I remember him throwing.
Oh, he's great arm.
Oh, man.
And one of the reasons we got him, he was from Tennessee State, a black college, and his father was the head coach there, and Bill Nunn had a great relationship with Joe's father, so that was another advantage Bill had with the black colleges.
Great advantage for the Steelers organization having a fine guy like Bill Nunn. I didn't know that story about Jefferson Street Joe. You know, when he was out of the NFL, he played in a professional league that featured Baltimore, I don't know what they were, and they played in Dormont against the Pittsburgh Colts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Bob Prince was doing the announcing on a local radio station, and I was his producer, so.
Oh, boy.
And I got a limo ride from my house to the game in Dormont because the Jankowsko family owned the Pittsburgh Colts. So, you know, hey, I get to work with Bob Prince. I get to see Jefferson Street Joe. You know, I would have paid to watch him throw. And boy, could he throw that football, even when he was out of the NFL.
He could throw it falling down. He'd throw it sidearm while he was going to the ground. But I never heard that story about him playing semi-pro football in Pittsburgh.
They packed the
after he
stadium.
left the Steelers.
They packed the stadium in Dormont. I think it was only supposed to hold 1,800, and I think they squeezed 3,000 in there.
Oh, that's a great story, really a great
And they weren't there to see the Pittsburgh Colts.
No, I'm sure. They were there to see Jefferson Street Joe.
And I was there. I saw Joe and got to work with Bob Prince. Does it get any better than that?
Absolutely. You've hit all the high points, Bill, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, you know,
You've had a great career, too. You should be very proud of being in broadcasting for these many, many years and doing really an outstanding job in covering sports in the Pittsburgh area.
But it was you, Joe, that opened a lot of doors for me.
Well,
and I
we were just doing our job.
Yeah. Well,
I was doing my job, you were doing your job.
All right. Even times you would yell at me, DeFabio, you talking to the players in the parking lot? Yeah, Joe, I won't do it again. And you forgot about it, you know? We got along well, and ask anybody to work with you, and they'll say, Joe Gordon, one hell of a man.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, thanks for the update on Bill Nunn.
One other story on Bill Nunn.
Okay.
You know, he worked well into his 80s.
Yes.
And he would come in not full time all the time, but anyhow, towards the end too, he had to have a driver. But anyhow, he had an office there on the second floor of the South Side complex, and I'd periodically come over maybe for a meeting or have lunch or even to pick up some tickets. And I'd see him sitting there in his office, smiling as always, and I'd say to him, "My God, Bill, you're going to get the biggest pension in the history of the NFL."
Yeah, he deserved it.
Because he was there for like 60 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He
It was amazing.
Yep. And he always come over to
He'd
say.
just chuckle.
Yeah, he always come
when
over
I
and
tell
said,
him that.
He always come over and said, "How's the family, Bill?" And
Yep.
I appreciate it. Joe, you know what else I found?
What's that, Bill?
An article. It seems like I was always in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for something, getting fired, hired, whatever. There was a story done by Chuck Finder where I expanded my network to 40 stations or 50.
Right.
And Ed Bouchette put the newspaper on the bulletin board you had in the media room. Bill DeFabio, tycoon. Well, I said to Chuck, I feel like a tycoon. I didn't really know what a tycoon was. So Mr. Rooney comes into the office. He says, "Where's this tycoon? I want to see if he wants to buy my team." And he'd come over and look at me and says, "You want to buy my team? You're a tycoon." And you know what? Everybody laughed. And I miss him, too.
I miss all of them.
Oh, yeah, Dan and,
Dan,
everybody.
the Chief.
Some really good people. And
Absolutely.
as long as I'm alive, I have to appreciate the fact that people like you put a lot of steak on my plate and sent my kid to school, okay? Kids, all right?
Well, I'm glad we could help.
All right, Joe. You're in my Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Bill. Good talking to you as always.
And thank you for the information on Bill Nunn.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye. I didn't know he was a great athlete. And when, he wanted to go to Long Island University, which was a top-notch school. I think it was in the NIT back then. Pretty good writer, because I used to read the Pittsburgh Courier to see what he would write about. And he was one hell of a coach. That story with John Stallworth, well, you couldn't do that today because everybody knows who's everybody. I mean, if there's a stud player at Bethany, all the coaching staff and scouting reports know about the kid. But back then, no. But Bill Nunn, he was networking, did a great job. I'm networking, too, with my new friends, new teammates at FanDuel. Remember, it's America's #1 sportsbook app. And here's why. Well, maybe you couldn't bet on NBA yesterday because the games were canceled. Some of the baseball games were postponed. But you got the PGA Championship. It looks like the Pirates are going to be playing along with other teams. A couple of NFL teams not practicing today, but I don't think you can bet on practice, can you? I don't know. But this app is super to use. You can use it every day, every sport, whether you're a seasoned bettor or new to wagering. You'll find what you're looking for in just a few taps. That's it. And once you win, this is what I like. FanDuel pays you out in as little as 24 hours. No bookie can make that claim. Best of all, FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free. Right now, you can place any bet you want, get up to $500 back if you don't win. $10 could get you $200 if you pick a team to go all the way to the NBA Finals. A lot of people have the Lakers and Milwaukee playing. This just in, the Clippers and the Lakers wanted to postpone the season, but it looks like they will continue the playoffs. But that could change in any minute. We'll keep you updated on that. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Be sure to sign up with promo code WKKX so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code WKKX, 21 plus and present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only. See sportsbookfanduel.com for terms and restrictions. Gambling problem? Make sure you visit www.1800gambler.net. Yes, and also auto racing. You can bet on almost anything that's in sports, okay? Hopefully we have college basketball coming up. College football, looks like the Big Ten may play some games later in the year in dome stadiums. That would be cool. Got to make use of those dome stadiums, so let teams play there. You can social distance. The kids get to play. We get to watch Clemson and Ohio State, 1 and 2, playing there, whatever. Nothing new with the ACC. Pitt found a non-conference team to play the first week since Miami of Ohio said we're not playing because the conference is not playing. They will play, this is an awful team. I don't know how much Pitt's paying Austin Peay. You've heard of Austin Peay, haven't you, Lola?
Oh, yeah, that's on the top of my list.
Watch them go in there and kick some Pitt butt. I don't care.
Don't forget Appalachian State.
That's right. That's right. It took you a while to get over that, didn't it?
Obviously, I'm not completely over it now. I bring it up every single time.
That's 7 years ago. Michigan was a top 5 team, right?
Yeah.
And they lost at home.
Yes, and their opener.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember it took you a while.
I'm not holding a grudge.
Okay.
I'm not resentful.
But you never know until you play the game.
You know, I just can't stand Appalachian State.
Austin Peay. Well, they found an opponent. You know, an opponent's coming to Heinz Field, so they're going to get paid $500,000, $1 million, whatever. Hey, that's good exposure for them. And it should be an easy W for Pitt, but you never know. All you have to do is ask Lola Miller.
Appalachian State.
Did I mention bands are going to be playing? A lot of the bands in West Virginia?
Yeah, the home team's band will play at the games. All right. He reversed course because he didn't want to see a bunch of band parents and band members outside the Capitol this weekend, and they were planning a huge rally to, you know, voice their disapproval. And it was ridiculous because the bands have been following the exact same protocols that the football teams are. Yep. Obviously, when they're on the field, they are already socially distant because of the movements they make, the things that they do. So, you know, it was just foolish. You're not going to have hardly any fans in the stands. You can put the band in a big section and they can sit as far apart as you need them to. You know, and they work just as hard. And let's face it, you're going to let football players, you know, spit at each other, not at each other, but, you know, good old slobber knockers. But you're not going to let a band out there. The whole thing was just ridiculous. No one could understand it. You know, I got
to ask you this. Do you separate the saxophone player from the tuba player?
Well, you know, the tuba is 6 feet big anyway.
Yeah.
You know? It just, you know, again, it's the only thing consistent coming out of the governor's office is the inconsistency of all of his messages. I can't, I gave up a long time ago listening to his press conferences because you didn't learn anything. You know, if you want to know the science behind things, then you just go to the health department or, you know, HHS's website, and you can get all the numbers and the information you need. I don't.
Yeah, well, you know, we got that kind of governor too in PA. We won't go there because people here don't care, and I don't care. Well, I do care, but what can I do? Hey,
all right, we gotta go.
The Rough Riders are for sale. We're taking bids. All right, we're going to talk to the GM. I still think he's the GM right after this news break.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Hurricane Laura weakening as it moves inland, but still a Category 1 hurricane. When it made landfall overnight, 100-plus mile-per-hour winds battered Lake Charles, Louisiana. And now the cleanup begins. ABC's Jim Ryan is there.
Everywhere you look in this city, you'll see evidence of Hurricane Laura's power. In the smashed car windows, the torn-off siding, and the brick facades ripped from homes. Before any of it can be dealt with, the roads have to be cleared of tree limbs and other debris that's keeping traffic from flowing. Then comes the job of tearing out damaged power poles, replacing cables, and restoring power to hundreds of thousands. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
President Trump will get an updated brief this next hour on Laura when a visit to FEMA headquarters. Tonight, he'll formally accept his nomination for a second term. ABC's Alex Stone is in Washington.
As President Trump tries to walk a tightrope between looking presidential during a natural disaster and holding a celebratory speech tonight, complete with fireworks before his address this evening, he is visiting FEMA headquarters here in Washington today to get a briefing on the response to Hurricane Laura And then tonight, he'll speak from the South Lawn of the White House.
NBA players say they'll continue with playoffs. That decision made after the players and the league's board of governors met today in the Orlando bubble on the future of the season. It follows yesterday's game boycott by the Milwaukee Bucks in protest of the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin by a white police officer. Public health experts are criticizing new CDC guidelines suggesting Americans who've been exposed to someone with coronavirus don't need to get tested if they don't have symptoms or other conditions making them vulnerable. Today, the governors of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut issuing a statement blasting that decision, accusing the president and Trump administration of wanting to drive down testing numbers and say that the states will adhere to testing standards in place. You're listening to ABC News.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to COO Dylan Miskowitz, who needed to hire a director of coffee for his company, Cafe Altura.
We would look through lots of applications for people who were not qualified. It definitely felt like we were looking for a needle in a haystack.
So Dylan started using ZipRecruiter and found his perfect candidate in a few days. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free.
We were very impressed with how quickly we had quality candidates apply through ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is a powerful tool in our hiring process.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/try. That's ZipRecruiter.com/try. ZipRecruiter.com/try.
Borrowing rates likely to remain low for some time. The Federal Reserve announcing today it plans to keep interest rates near zero, even after inflation climbs above 2%. Stocks up on the news. Meanwhile, more out-of-work Americans are looking for help. Details from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The layoffs persist as the nation's economy tries to recover from the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Another 1 million people filed for jobless benefits for the first time last week, a slight drop from the prior week, but still a figure that continues a staggering stretch of layoffs. The number of new claims for unemployment has topped 1 million most weeks since late March. The extra $600 a week in federal aid the unemployed had been receiving expired last month, and Congress has been unable to agree on more.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo heading back to Washington after a taxpayer-funded trip where he also spoke at the Republican National Convention in a pre-tape.
Mike Pompeo wrapping up his visit here in the Middle East with a stop in Oman, where he met with the new Sultan, Haytham bin Tariq. The Secretary of State tweeting the two discussed regional peace, stability, and prosperity, adding no other details. But like Bahrain's king and the Prime Minister of Sudan, the Omani Sultan made no public commitment to normalizing ties with Israel. It's unclear if Pompeo managed to advance in any concrete way additional Israeli-Arab peace deals, what was one of the key aims of this trip. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
This is ABC News.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, because shed happens.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Managing your business can be a minefield. One step in the wrong direction, and it can feel like everything you've worked for is at risk. I always had a vision of building a team, a crew of true professionals that could handle it all, tax, insurance, and investments. Big enough to partner with Encova, but personal enough to protect your interests on the home front. I'm Gary, and this is the Glessner Group.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Doan Ford has served their valued customers for over 50 years with superior sales and service, and that's why they say, for the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, check Doan Ford. For experienced, low-pressure sales, check Doan Ford. For fast, easy auto financing, check Doan Ford. Located at exit 208 off of I-70. And that's why you should say,
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
Oh, there's something so real about living local. And I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, otherwise partly cloudy through the afternoon. Daytime high near 83, overnight low of 69 degrees, partly cloudy skies. You'll see clouds, limited sunshine for your Friday, with temperatures in the lower 80s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough?
Another great tune to start hour number 222 here on the Variety Show. And we're going to go from Bill Nunn, who soon will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, into another matter which I found very disturbing because I was looking forward to doing a coaches show at River City with the Rough Riders. Now the Rough Riders are officially up for sale. So Greg Fernario, the general manager or owner, how much money do I need?
Oh man, you know, I told you before. I need about $5,000 and my own talk show on Mad Dog there.
Well, yeah, okay. If I buy the team, can I make Lola Miller the head coach?
Hey, you do anything you want with that.
Yeah, she's a Rough Rider from way back when. But you know, when did this pop up? Because of COVID-19, or you know, maybe you wanted to move on. I'm just reading from the story this morning in the paper, so you tell me why this team is officially up for sale.
So when I got into the business in 2016, I told myself, hopefully I can build this brand up, you know, not just winning a championship, but also a well-known team. And about 3 to 5 years, possibly be able to release it and see what, you know, kind of offer I can get, you know, for the team. Mm-hmm. Going into year 5 now, but actually year 4 was canceled. So, you know, I told my coaching staff, especially Mook, going into last year, I said, let's make this one a really good one because, you know, I think I'm going to put it on the market after that. Obviously, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to play. And that hurt things. That hurt a lot of things, hurt, everyone around us, with us playing and bringing in 2,000-3,000 people, and then everyone eats off that, right? Restaurants,
Yep.
hotels, casinos, and, not just us, but a lot of different events that go on in West Banco. So going into this year, there's, I say, let's see. There are a bunch of new teams popping up. There's new teams popping up in the IFL. There's new teams popping up in the NEL. So I said, hey, maybe it's best to see if I can entertain offers right now. And what I mean by entertaining offers, hey, yes, the team's for sale. But that does not mean if we do not sell it, we're not coming back in 21. It just means that the team is for sale. We're entertaining offers. If something substantial comes in and we like it, then we will, because we're not just going to release something that we work very, very hard at. But it is something I can say that our 1 year in Wheeling was more profitable than the 2 years in Richmond. Wow. So it is definitely, that's why I feel it's something that someone would be very interested in, because it is a really good situation that they'll be walking into here in Wheeling.
Well, your 2 seasons in Richmond, you went, 19-2? And you competed in the Arena Pro Football Championship, or that league. You won the APF title with a 71-61 victory over the Florida Tarpons. Then you lost to Atlanta 58-50 in the AAL championship game. And then you come here and, with a winner. So you know what it's like to win. You probably, you're type of guy don't like to lose, but I don't see too many losses there. And I'm reading a quote from Kim North, who wrote the story that I'm reading in the Intelligencer today, and I could understand. You said, and I'm quoting you, I've seen other owners stick around for 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years and then fold because they can't sell the franchise. And you don't want to be in that scenario, do you?
No, so, I know people that had successful teams that 8 years later, hey, let's put this team for sale, we're done. And then they couldn't, but they could have sold it 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like I said, I'm stating, we're taking offers, we're entertaining offers. And if that offer comes in and it's time to, let it go now, then it's time to let it go now. But if it doesn't come in where we like it to be, well then, we're not just selling, I'm not just selling it for pennies. So it's not about, okay, take the first offer to come and we're out. So it's not about that. It's about seeing, like you said, you mentioned our track record. We're 32-2. We're a championship team. We have a great city behind us. We have all the equipment you need and top-notch equipment. So if I could do this over again and I came into arena football business, I would prefer to buy a team that is already established and winning ways than have to start from scratch. Because even social media is so big. Our social media is, the Twitter, the Instagram and the Facebook are well over 12,000, per. And when you come into a brand new city, brand new team, social media is such a huge thing on getting the word out. You have to start from scratch. You have to buy your uniforms. You have to buy pads. You have to try to look for all this equipment that is very hard to find. You're not going to Walmart and buying turf. You know what I mean? So
that's a great line.
It's so difficult to buy these things. I have other teams that come into the league and they contact me and say, Greg, where can I get this at? And I'm like, well, it's hard, but here's how you start searching for it. So if I could come into this 4 years ago just to buy a team and go, that would be the way to go. So this would be an easier way for somebody to come on board. And just one of those things that I also am putting out there, though, I am in talks with a couple people, and before it really before this goes viral, which is, going viral now, and I told them, I said, I want to stay on somehow, consultant. I can be a consultant for you and lead you in the right direction for the team, because it's not something I just want to completely walk away from. I mean, it's the passion I have for this is.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you can't sell the team, could we still see football here in the city next year?
Yes, and I would have to say that has to all do with the coronavirus. So what I mean by that is, obviously we all know things are canceled. But if things aren't canceled, but they're a certain new way of doing things. If it doesn't make sense, we're not going to do it. Like, for instance, we don't know if they're going to tell us that the West Banco Arena can open, but you can't do 5,200 capacity. You have to do, sell every third row, sell every 2 seats, and that might come to 875 people. I'm using this as an example.
Yeah. Okay.
If that's something that I have to choose, then it's either two things. Either you try to raise prices, and I don't think fans are going to want to pay arm and a leg to go to the game, or, you sit out another year. You know what I mean? So, and other teams, might be like, well, we're fine with that because they have bigger arenas. Some of these arenas that we play against have 20,000 seat capacity. They don't do 20,000. They don't even do 3,000. But the bottom line is if they get the social distancing laws and they have to sell every other row and boom, 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 then they can do their numbers still.
Okay. Now, you talked about the National Arena League in 2020 with the likes of Orlando and Jacksonville. Are those two of the teams that has the huge capacity?
Yes, Orlando got the biggest capacity. They play where the Orlando Magic plays. They're over 20,000. But there is a couple more. Carolina Cobras, they have over 20,000 capacity. I think we're the smallest. Let me just going through here. Jersey's about 15,000. So we're the smallest arena. We're the smallest arena.
A lot of folks have been asking me, what about the Rough Riders? What about the Rough Riders? I don't know. And, I read the story today that said, I got to get my buddy Greg, who owes me a dinner. Yeah, the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. I'll never see that dinner, Greg.
Well, what's funny? Here's the funny thing. My buddy told me this. Obviously, I'm a big Jets fan. And obviously, they always let me down, right?
Well, of course, they stink.
And he said, Greg, if the Jets are going to go to the Super Bowl, they're going to go this year. You know why? I said, why?
Why?
Because you can't go to the Super Bowl. It would be that they go to the Super Bowl the year that they won't allow fans to go, right?
Yeah, that's right. Tampa, you don't know. That ought to be interesting. Well, there's already trouble. Le'Veon Bell's having trouble with the head coach. The head coach says, you got this injury, and Bell says, I'm not injured. And they're fighting already.
I've seen that. So, but,
better
like I said,
you have Le'Veon Bell than the Steelers. How's that sound?
I'll take them.
Okay.
But like I said, so we're definitely pushing this very viral. I want to see what kind of entertaining some offers and so on and so forth, and see what's out there. And I know something. Bottom line is this: if you're selling your car and you don't have a for sale sign on it, I don't know to come up to you and offer you money for your car.
That's true. That's very true.
So at the end of the day, it's I know there's rumors will fly and so on and so forth. We're entertaining offers for this team that we built up and seeing if it's worth moving on from here, because I feel that it's at a high demand right here. We're 32-2. It's a great franchise, great city, and I don't know why somebody would not want to give it a pretty good offer to come on in. So it's available, and we're going to go from there, and then we'll just kind of see how the months progress. And here's another thing. If I do release it, I'm also just not going to release it. I'm going to make sure that, the city's in good hands with these owners as well. And the couple people I'm kind of talking to, if one of these two want to come on board, absolutely would be in very, very good hands. And I will be there to, the press conference to introduce them and so on and so forth. And like I said, I would love to stay on as some kind of consultant or some kind of, overlooking operations and stuff like that, because I have a big passion for this. But, I think it's time for me to accept offers.
Okay. I wouldn't be a good reporter if I didn't ask this question. Is there any local interest?
So no, and that's where hopefully this comes in at, right? Because the newspaper, the radio, we're going to put a lot of things out Monday viral, and then hopefully some local interest comes out of it. Because right now, I'm just, the way I did it was I was just talking to people I know that are already in the industry to see if they want to grab another team.
Okay. Yeah. And that other team, we don't know the future of the hockey team either. Everything's up in the air every day, like the NBA, Major League Baseball. We don't know if they're going to play, if there's going to be protests. Sports used to be a diversion. Now it's like a top news story. So stay tuned. You know, I might win the lottery, and I'll make my own team here. And I'll hire you as a consultant.
I'm in.
And the minimum wage is $8.75 in West Virginia an hour, okay? You know, I look forward to doing a coach's show, and your coach retires. How'd that happen?
I tell you, you know, so Mook, obviously, me and him been together since day one, and
Yeah.
he's not just my coach, became my best friend. He's actually he's selfish here, but he actually now lives 15 minutes down the road from me, so that's actually pretty good for me because, you know, he lived in Richmond, and I lived in Pennsylvania. Mook entered the corporate America world. I got him a pretty sweet gig working with a buddy of mine who owns a pretty big company, and gave him a sweet deal. And also, he's 15 minutes down the house, so we still see each other. We barbecue the whole nine, and he's going to give us a run and see if he likes it.
Okay, that's great. I tell you what, I even told him when the first time I met him, the big set of hands he had. I mean, if he grabbed me by the head, he could squeeze me like a grape. I've never seen hands that big, that strong, other than from a guy named Joe Green. So, and then when he handed me that ring, you know, my hand fell down because you were here in the studio, you know. Hey, Mook, let's see that ring. Whoa, oh. But no, a lot of people, I bet once or twice a week, hey, DeFabio, you don't say anything about the Rough Riders. Well, I don't know until today. So can we keep in touch?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Forget about the dinner you owe me, unless you want to bring the limo to my house in Washington, PA, and drive me to New Jersey or New York for a 5-star restaurant.
We could do that too. Okay. If I sell the team, I'm going to give you a helicopter ride to and from every Jet game. How about that?
Every Jet game? You couldn't pay me to watch the Jets.
I tell you. But hey, I tell you what. You know, I'll keep in touch with you. If there is any kind of new ownership, we're going to go to Wheeling and go look at the arena and look at town and, you know, go meet people and stuff. And
yeah.
I'll 100% give you a shout if we're coming to town to do that. So hopefully, here's, you know, and you know, one question I have been asked is there a deadline? You know, and there is, because at this time, you know, obviously is when the respected leagues want to start putting their schedules up.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And, you know, they always try to put them up earlier if they can. And out of respect for maybe a team that might be for sale, they might wait a little bit. But here we are, the end of August 27th. And I believe the NAL and IFL will have their schedules up early October. So the timeline is pretty much a 30-day window. You know, anybody who's very interested, want to come on board, you know, 30 days to really make a decision up. So.
Well, the friendly city misses your football presence, okay? So
yeah.
Hopefully we can still have football here because those 6 or 7 nights or afternoons was great for the city, great for the businesses, great for the diehard football fans here. We miss football. Hell, we miss everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. So
all right. Hey, go Giants. Just teasing.
All right, well, I'll keep in touch.
Please do. You have my phone number. You can call me any time of the day or night. And thanks for your time, Greg, on what I consider a big story, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. Yeah, the Rough Riders are officially up for sale, okay? Oh, I hope we have some kind of football, you know. Any kind of sporting event, any kind of concert event in the city, it's just good for the city and people who have mom-and-pop businesses, corporate businesses. It's just good, but who knows? Who knows? But I know one thing. They are playing baseball in St. Louis. I think there'll be some hockey games tonight. Some NBA games, I don't know. That's on hold. But you know, FanDuel is there because it's America's #1 sportsbook app, and here's why. The app is so super easy to use. Whether you're seasoned better or new to wagering, like me, you know, I usually bet dinners or lunches or burgers or whatever. But now I can wager and make a couple of bucks. It's easy to use. And once you win, this is what I like about FanDuel. FanDuel pays you out in as little as 24 hours. And there's all kinds of ways you can bet. Here's one of them. $10 can get you 20 if you pick a team to go all the way and win the NBA Finals. FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free if you want. Just place any bet you want and get up to $500 back if you don't win. That's if you're new to this game. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Be sure to sign up with promo code WKKX so they know that we at the Watchdog, WKKX, sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook promo code WKKX. Here's a disclaimer I have to read for you. 21 plus and present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only. See sportsbookfanduel.com for terms and restrictions. By the way, if you got a gambling problem, visit www.1800gambler.net. All right. Chad Cool will start game one of a doubleheader tonight, this afternoon rather. I think they're going to play around 3 o'clock with game one. Remember, it's a doubleheader, and with new rules for a different 2020 baseball campaign, they're 7 innings. So maybe that's why we watched Travis Williams hit a pitch yesterday. I think he went, 5 innings? Gave up a lot of home run after home run after home run after home run. Did I say that 4 times? Gave up 4. I mean, he just didn't have a good day. But you know what? I know the manager didn't want to go to the bullpen, saving that bullpen because he might need it for the doubleheader today. And with St. Louis, they have a lot of injuries. They got guys coming back from COVID-19. So who knows? Whatever you get at 3:05 or whatever is what you're going to have to watch or listen to. Thursday is usually a good day with Greg Brown, but he'll be in the broadcast booth, and he will be with us to start football Friday. We're going to start with a baseball guest tomorrow at about 12:35. Then it's football talk all afternoon. Remember, I'll be here from 12:35 to 3 o'clock every Friday, as long as there is high school and college football, okay? After I'm done at 3 o'clock, we have the walkthrough crew, okay? So we're going to do it all for you right here on your voice for football, high school, college, whatever. And we're also the voice of West Virginia University sports. Boy, I love those Mountaineers. It's time to take a break. Oh, I'm forgetting something. What is it? Did we talk about the bands will be playing? Yeah, the bands will be playing tomorrow, so that's a good news. I think there's a limitation in Pennsylvania, 4 parents to every football player or band member at certain high schools. I don't know. Who knows with our governor in Pennsylvania? And down here, who knows with Governor Justice? Justice for all, right? Yeah, okay. I'm Bill DeFabio, Lola Miller across the way. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Casey Tucker, all right? She's been a regular guest. We'll talk about events, whether there's going to be any or nothing, or just have some fun. That's what we're trying to do. Have fun during some unbelievable, crazy times in this wonderful, wacky world of just living the nightmare.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
Sure thing.
With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time. Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Oh, there's something so real about living local. And I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Doan Ford has served their valued customers for over 50 years with superior sales and service, and that's why they say, for the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, check Doan Ford. For experienced, low-pressure sales, check Doan Ford. For fast, easy auto financing, check Doan Ford. Located at exit 208 off of I-70. And that's why you should say,
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Are you struggling to make payments due to an unexpected financial obligation or loss of income? Are you receiving calls from debt collectors? Are you feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what steps to take next? Then you need the experience and expertise of attorney Tom McIntyre and his staff to help guide you through these temporary hardships. Want to hear more about how Tom can help? Then call 877-456-4155 and receive a free copy of Tom's ebook, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Tom's ebook covers many questions people have about bankruptcy and includes interesting stories about people who tried to avoid filing and people who have filed for bankruptcy. We think you'll be surprised to learn some interesting facts about bankruptcy. Call 877-456-4155. The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. What was Hurricane Laura is now inland and moving north through the Mississippi River Valley. Packing far less wind, the storm still carries considerable rain, and that's expected to arrive with what's left of the storm in West Virginia Friday night. Meteorologist Dave Marsalak with the National Weather Service in Charleston says between now and then what happens will be critical.
We need to expect a lot of rain across the area. We're going to expect rises on the area creeks, streams, and rivers. Right now it looks manageable for some of the main stem rivers. We're not looking for any issues yet, but a lot of that's going to depend on how much rainfall we get today with the activity going on as of right now and through the rest of today.
Now, there are storms and heavy rain in the forecast all the way through this evening in West Virginia. West Virginia's death toll from COVID-19 has now up to 199. 9 additional deaths reported and added to that total this morning in the daily report from the DHHR. It included 93 new cases in the last 24 hours for the state. The daily positive infection rate, 2.75%. West Virginia University has put 17 of its students on probation for behavior that violated COVID-19 guidelines. The university says one student's facing a conduct hearing. U.S. Marshals say a man wanted for murder in Ohio is now in custody and after being arrested last night in Kanawha County. 25-year-old Jacob Harper of Newcomerstown, Ohio, was arrested at the home of a family member in Clendenin. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Huntington police on the scene of a double shooting this afternoon that happened earlier today in the 800 block of Bronson Court. 2 victims taken to the hospital. Authorities have not indicated their condition as the investigation continues. The West Virginia Symphony has canceled plans for its concert schedule from October through January. Officials say they are exploring other options like streaming live, and they'll release any details of that when it becomes available. Officials say they hope to resume in February. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
You can now watch the Legislative Watchdogs every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. Talk radio taken to the next level. Only on the Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. Tell me, how long you gonna stay here, Joe? Some people say this town don't look good in snow. You don't care, I know. Ventura Highway in the sun.
And we're back. Before we talk to Casey Tucker about events or non-events, whatever, it's always a pleasure to see that smiling face and talk to her for a few minutes. Here is an update. I think we started the show with 3 teams not practicing today, but empty practice fields make for loud and powerful statements at facilities across the NFL. Here we go. Arizona, Chicago, Denver, Green Bay, Indianapolis, the New York Jets, Tennessee, Washington football team, all chose not to practice today in response to the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black individual in Wisconsin. The team will use the day to discuss and work toward making a lasting social impact. This is according to members of the Indianapolis Colts. So as far as I know, and I text our Steeler insider, Ray Fittipaldo, the Steelers are practicing as I speak at Heinz Field. Casey, what do you think about this? We usually have sports and concerts as diversions, right?
Yes.
Now it's in the spotlight
Absolutely.
of everything we talk about, you know?
Yeah, there's just not enough going on, so
You know,
everything.
I was taught that the big 3, you just don't say anything whether you're at parties or whatever, and that's you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, and you don't talk about, you know, racism.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about.
That is, I know.
You know.
It's all that's being talked about.
I have no idea. I have no idea. Were you alarmed or disappointed or surprised with the Rough Riders up for sale?
I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, I wasn't either until I got out of the newspaper that I paid for, so that makes it, I can use it in public, all right?
Right.
Okay, all right. But Kim North, I had to give him credit. He's a writer for the paper. He talked to the owner, general manager, and since I have his phone number, I said, well, if it's out there, I may as well talk to him too.
Yeah.
And as soon as I called him, he said, I know you want me on the radio. You know what I mean? And he gave us a lot of details, so, you know, but it's a surprise, a disappointment, because I don't think we'll see the Rough Riders or indoor football for a while.
Right.
That's just my thought.
I hate to lose another
Client, there you go.
Yeah.
We don't know about the Nailers. They were supposed to start, what, October to December? Now that's been late, right?
They're pushed to December 4th for right now,
Oh,
so.
boy.
Yeah. I know, we miss seeing, just like even the people, you know, who we saw at every event, you know, you get to know your customers.
Yeah, you know all the ushers, you know all the
and-
concession stand workers, you know the people out selling shirts and merchandising and stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
we're over like 6 months of
Hell,
nothing.
yeah, nightmare.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not living a dream anymore. I'm living a nightmare.
No, yeah,
Now, the dream is right across from me. Lola, you know.
of course.
You with us, Lola?
Yeah.
Anything on your mind with Casey?
I mean, how's the baby?
There you go.
I mean,
I should have
She's
asked
great.
that. How old now?
9 months, she'll be 10 months
Oh,
next
my
week.
goodness. You're enjoying
Yeah.
it. What have I told you? Every second, enjoy it.
I know. She's
Every second.
crawling, she has 2
Oh.
teeth, it's great.
Oh, wow, that's great stuff. That's great stuff. Well, let's talk about lack of beer sales at West Bank, okay?
Yeah. I know.
There's so many people, you know, outsiders, that, you know, bring in the food and stuff, you know?
Yes.
I know at River City, we had taco in a bag and pretzels and stuff, you know, they're out of work now.
Yeah, you think of all that extra staff that was hired to work for the arena, and then
Furloughed or whatever.
now it's
And I'm sure the hotel, McClure is hurting, you know?
definitely, yeah. We were supposed to have that Viper Pit wrestling tournament, and that brought in so many different people from all over,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's wacky. Now, you know, players are boycotting, I don't know. If it's their platform and they get the word out, you know, maybe some of us, not me, I've always been open-minded, and I've learned recently in the 5 months, not only COVID-19, but the race problem we're having, just be a good listener, you know?
Mhm.
Maybe I'll learn something, you know? I don't know. I have no idea. Everything's crazy out there.
Well, speaking of this, did the Washington ever come up with a new team name?
Washington, oh, the Redskins?
Redskins?
No, they're just going to be called West Washington right now.
Okay. Because you said Washington, I started thinking, did they ever
don't know
announce
what
a new
they're-
name? Or
They got more problems internally.
Yeah.
With nude photos of the cheerleaders,
Oh,
you know,
no.
they weren't supposed to take pictures of, and then guys in the house were looking at them, the videos and stuff that some of the cheerleaders were going through. So, you know, that, first of all, the NFL ought to, I'll be nice. Oh, I can't stand the guy because I know him. The NFL's got to get the owner out of there, Dan Snyder. You know, he's not a good owner. Dan, if you're listening, you know, I got the facts too, you know. A lot of people don't like working for you. I couldn't, but, you know, have all that problems and to say you don't know what's going on, Listen, working with the Steelers for 40 years, talking to the Rooneys, they know, and they always reminded me, everybody who either owns the team or head coaches or general manager know what's going on every minute of the day.
I'm sure.
Believe me, Mike Tomlin, when practice is over, he knows everything about what the players are going to do if they get in trouble and stuff, you know? This owner didn't know of all the problems, you know, I don't want to go through the list because I'm embarrassed to announce it. But I think Dan Snyder, who of course is a billionaire, used to charge my colleagues, reporters, in the press box $75 to hook up to the internet to do their work.
Oh, wow.
You don't do that, Most places have free food. I know because I take advantage of it. He charges $10, $15 or whatever for food. Don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Accommodate the media. There's some turkeys out there that work in the media fraternity, but there are a lot of good guys too. And every time they write about or say something on TV about the Washington football team, that's a plus,
Oh, yeah.
Plus you have social media, which sometimes I don't think is a plus, because athletes are now putting out press releases like, I'm unhappy with the coach. I don't like the conditions. I'm depressed being in the bubble. Several hockey players have said that. They're depressed being in a bubble. Well, they're getting paid a hell of a lot to be in the bubble.
Right.
You know what? I know they miss their family, but if they're not there, how can they, have food for them? I don't know.
Will football be doing the same thing, the kind of the bubble thing where?
Maybe for the playoffs.
Okay.
But there's a chance that like the Big Ten, Ohio State, Lola's Michigan team, Penn State, there's a chance they could play some games in December in dome stadiums.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of dome stadiums, Louisiana, Georgia, Atlanta, whatever. So that might be a good idea. You might not get 50, 60,000, but you can allow some people in there.
Yeah.
And of course, it comes down to network revenue. Penn State alone, if there's no football, they're out 80 million.
Oh my gosh.
Lola?
Answer me this. Why, when they're saying you're safer outside, why on earth would they say domed stadiums? These kids play in the winter outside. Let them play outside.
Yeah.
That was the dumb. Well, it's the NCAA, so I don't expect much from them, but, that was the stupidest thing. Well, we'll just trap it all under a roof.
Nothing surprises me with the NCAA. Nothing at all. But we got high school football starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple games tonight. Hold on. Barnesville at Buckeye Local and Louisville at Dover. Okay, that's good. And tomorrow we got about 14 games. And Saturday there's a game, River at Bel Air. While I have my lineup ready for tomorrow, we will start with baseball and Greg Brown. He's usually with us on Thursday, but he's going to start the show off tomorrow. I'd like to get an update from him. And said, what was it like describing all of those home runs hit by the Chicago White Sox? They hit 40 the other day. Wow. Yeah, they're unbelievable. At 1:10, Coach Yoder. At 1:35, we go to Steubenville for Coach Reno. At 2:10, we have Coach Holinka on, and I just confirmed Coach McLean. So that's at 2:35. I don't know where I'm going to squeeze in our Steeler update, but I'll find a way. Pitt, who cares? West Virginia, I love those Mountaineers. You never thought you'd hear me say that, right, Casey? I see that laugh. I'm waiting for my WVU hat and shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I'll even pay for them. Then Lola and I will look good together because she wears a WVU stuff, All right. And if it's free, it's me. But I miss events. I've missed how many do-offs now? 2?
Yeah.
3?
2.
I mean, once a week I talk to Charlie Pappas,
Yeah.
And he's he's busy because he has a nice lumber company. And he's working, but, he wants to put together all these acts. And the later it goes, it's tough to sign somebody.
Yep, definitely.
And, he signs the best. But right now, not even the best can do some work. No. Look at all the performers around the area. Oh, singers and stuff. They have no restaurants to perform at.
It's not even national talent. It's just even local talent.
And Lola a few years ago got me involved with the Blues Fest. And, that was canceled, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I miss gaining 40 pounds at the Greek festival.
That was my favorite.
60 pounds at the Italian festival. Yeah.
I know. It didn't really feel like summer.
No.
Because, there's not all that extra activity going on.
It doesn't feel like it's the end of August.
No.
Because, in the middle of August, we would still play baseball to Wild Things. That was postponed. We would have the Pony League World Series. Hell, I missed the Washington County Fair, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and look all the events around here. The races, for example, you know, we have no races anymore. You know, I do see a lot of people, I stroll around, come around the circle, a lot of people on bicycles and seniors walking or trying to walk, you know, so everything's different.
It is.
Everything's different. Go to places where you're supposed to wear masks and people don't wear masks.
Oh, I know.
You know, I don't know. What I don't understand, and Lola, you could chime in, why do when I pass a lot of people up or they pass me up, why are they wearing masks inside their cars?
That's one of the mysteries of life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they're on their cell phone.
Yeah. That I don't.
I haven't seen anybody try to smoke under the mask yet. But I bet about 15, 20 people, most of them seniors, still had the mask on driving inside their car.
Yeah. I see it a lot.
You know, I don't get it. I mean, it's great to be safe, but, you know, come on, it's your car. You know, I have no idea. But I saw that, and I should have wrote a note, you know, talk about masks in the car, whatever. So, but everything's wacky. You have any suggestions how we can straighten the world out?
I honestly don't know.
Mine is to myself, my kids, just be a good listener, you know.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you know, ask. Talk to somebody, whatever. You know, everybody's like in their bunker, you know. And this is my house, I'm going to stay in it, I'll walk around a little bit, I'm not going to go to the grocery store certain times. Although I do like at my bank in Washington, senior citizens are allowed in from like 9 to 10, seniors only to do their business. Because I've spent almost a week in the drive-through. And, you know, I can get frustrated real quick. You know, you should see me. I've been here 40 minutes. Why isn't that truck in front of me moving? And then one day, you know that little funnel thing that you put your...
Yeah.
I took it home with me. And I felt so bad. I rushed back, and, you know, I didn't know they had a reserve. And, you know, and, oh, Bill, that happens all the time. Well, I didn't want to happen again. But nothing is easy, you know. I got to walk clear around Giant Eagle just to go to one entrance, you know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I go Krogering now because I get my card. Gas is cheap, or it was cheap. You know, my paper had it today. It was at the Wheeling area, even in Washington. The prices went up 4 or 5 cents. I don't think so. At Kroger, it was like $2.16 a week ago.
Yeah.
Now it's $2.36. What is it at your favorite place in Ohio, Lola?
I get it. Well, I don't know. Ohio, they raised their gas tax, so instead of it being a little less expensive, it turned out to be a little bit more. But notoriously, the one on the island was always high. It's $2.09, and Kroger is $2.36.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining in the least.
The one that's
but-
2.0 whatever, is that next to Burger King?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh. I should go there. Would I get lost? Let's see, I swing around. No, I wouldn't get lost. Yeah. What did I pay this morning? $2.42.
Oh my gosh.
Till I got to, what's it called? 2 sheets. Because you get 3 cents off with your sheets. I should have went to Kroger's, but they went up.
Right.
It varies. I don't understand. Is there a shortage of... all those oil wells in Texas, right? Let's jack up the prices in case Hurricane, whatever her name is, causes destruction with the oil fields.
It's possible.
Now that the wind is changing and the hurricane's leaving, prices will probably come down.
Yeah.
You know, they look ahead, you know, the stock market, oil price, whatever. Not much I can do. You don't remember this. Lola, you remember in the early 70s when every other day, certain number, you could get gas?
Yep, I had a 6-gallon gas tank on my car. I had an MG Midget. So I would fill it up and then take a 5-gallon can and fill that up. And then I had gas. It didn't matter what day, you know.
That's why, Casey, I get to work with a smart woman. We don't always agree. We disagree a little bit.
Rarely.
But we have a love-in. Well, not even that.
Don't.
It's a love-hate. It's I shouldn't use love-in.
No.
Yeah. If
That
this was
has
a,
different connotations.
yeah, if this was the 60s, we'd be tripping together. I'd be traveling to Michigan to date her. She'd be traveling to Pittsburgh to eat at a 5-star restaurant not named Ruth Chris.
No, that probably would not have happened.
You know, if you met me 30 years ago, you'd fall in love with me, Lola.
No. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
handsome
sure
guy,
I
handsome
would not
guy,
have.
thick hair, thick wallet, drives a Corvette. That's my kind of man, right, Lola? Look at me and say I'm right.
Bill, if his name is Bill DeFabio, no, it's not. And yes, I dated people that had hair and drove nice cars and paid for a lot of things. I didn't have to go out of state to find them.
She's breaking my heart, Casey. I already have a bad heart with 3 stents. Oh, I wonder if I had a heart attack on here, what she would do. Would you
Gosh.
Would you call 911, Lola? Or would you just go, we'll be back right after this?
My battery's dead. Oh, darn.
Casey, she's not fooling. She's not fooling. And she's not in the will. Okay, anyhow. But Casey, please, I didn't realize she'll be 10 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's flying by.
Oh, yeah. And I know you're spoiling her.
Of course.
Does hubby-dubby spoil her?
Yes. Yeah.
More so than you, I bet. Yeah. All
Pretty
right.
even.
Yeah. It seems like centuries ago since I had babies. You know, now they've grown up and they're calling me annoying old man. Quit living in the past, you know. Quit talking about your street smarts. Okay, whatever. But I remind them, who raised you? Who put you through college? You have no college debt, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever. Those were great days, though. And I still appreciate the fact that once in a while, Dad, are you okay? All right. Yeah, okay. Whatever. But I miss all the events here.
Yeah, and like especially this weekend should have been PBR. This was the rescheduled.
This was been the weekend that she would go face to face with the bull?
I know. I've got my black armband.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, man.
You know, some people, it's been out there, you know, we've been putting it out there, but still get a couple calls here and there, you know, thinking it's this weekend. So hopefully we can get it out to everyone and we won't have people show up.
I know. What was it? One of the concerts at the Capitol, Sonia went and actually waited outside because, you know, she was afraid people were going to still show up. And a couple did. I think it was the doo-wop maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
And they were just here visiting, saw it, you know, on something. Thought, oh, that'd be a cool show to go to. And, you know.
I know.
So I'm glad she was there, though.
Definitely.
You know,
We might not have a doo-wop till mid-next year, right?
It's May.
May?
Yeah,
That's a long time.
May 2021.
Would that be doo-wop 19 or doo-wop 20? I lost
I don't
track
know
at
how they're gonna
11.
do it, yeah.
Yeah. I think I've been to like 11 of them. No, more than that, because before I came here, I used to come downtown, have a great burger at the bridge or a fish sandwich and walk across the street, you know. Have a couple of brewskis too, but. And then I learned, even before I came here, going there, you know, your hot dogs and popcorn, not only are they good, but they're inexpensive.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, yeah. So. And I got to meet some of the ushers that I still, you know, greeted with that big smile. And, you know, that's a lot of people hurt too. Like I have a lot of friends that were ushers for 41 games at PNC Park, you know. They're senior citizens. They want to work, okay? You're only allowed to miss like 2 or 3 games, and they go to all of them to work. That's extra supplement for their income.
Right.
That's gone. You
Yeah,
know,
I know. Yeah, we've been reaching out to all of our staff, you know. When we do open, are you going to feel comfortable coming back? And everyone's like, yes, we just want to come back. So we do
Young
have
and old, right?
Yes, we have a really good staff that are ready to work. So
Yeah. I want to see that place filled.
hopefully soon, yeah.
Because I've been in there when it was empty, and I know there were ghosts looking at me. What's he doing here? You know? That's a scary place when it's empty,
Yes, it is.
especially when you go downstairs with the
Oh,
bowling
yeah.
alleys. I still think you could make good use of that. And then I found a part of the chain or whatever that hooks up to the bridge. Did we talk about this before?
Yeah,
Yeah, is
it's
that
crazy.
amazing? That's, you know.
You would never think that it was in there.
No. I forget who showed me that. One of your coworkers showed me that, and then introduced me to the 2 beautiful models from Italy. But I saw that. I goes, that's hooked up to the bridge. Oh, yeah, that's been there for a long time.
Must
And then
we
the
hear
elevator.
about those statues again.
Oh, I'm in love with those statues. It's the only 2 women that have never talked back to me.
Oh, now there's a shocker. And the thing is, they probably do. You just don't want to pay attention.
Times get real bad, I'm taking one home, okay? You think they're heavy, Casey?
Probably.
Yeah, they used to be in the bowling alley. Somebody found them there.
Yeah, well, I think, weren't they up there originally, and then they took them down?
They took them down, yeah.
And then,
They were immodest.
yeah.
But that would have been cool to have, on my way, okay. That would have been cool to have bowling alleys down there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, even today. There's no social with bowling alleys, right?
Yeah, I think they've got the green light pretty early.
Yeah.
To open up.
We have one in Washington, Alpine Lane, just like every 2 lanes you can't bowl, but
Okay.
still. With Seniors Day, when you get a lot of seniors, it's like from 1 to 5 on a Tuesday. It's $1,
Can't beat that.
Bowling's not up my alley, but anyhow.
Well, that was good. I just caught it.
You just got it? Okay, yeah. Lola's there. He makes me puke, Why has he got to say that? But, and I don't bowl much, but the kids bowl. And we've gone bowling recently, and it's fun.
It is
Not a
fun.
whole lot of people, but, and everything's just so screwed up, I got a platform, and I don't know how to use it, so I'm just going to start listening now.
Yeah.
Because, an opinion from a 68-year-old white guy, who's going to listen other than Lola and you, So my platform is simple. I'll remember that, Lola.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. I'll forget about it.
That's what's good about it.
I'd like to wake up tomorrow and say the world is normal.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's ever coming. And I feel sorry for young people, young babies, young kids, What kind of life are they going to... I'm sure you and your husband are thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know what
What's the future?
will be normal for her,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll build that car, I forgot what it was, a Dorian, and go back to the future for you.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll be on stage pretending I'm Chuck Berry. Yeah. You remember that movie? No?
Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a great movie?
Yeah.
With what's his name on the stage? And then when he's done singing, everybody's looking at him. Your parents will know. Okay. Did you like that movie, Lola? Back to the Future?
Yeah, it was clever.
Yeah.
It was clever.
I'm going to go back to the future, and I'm going to a Michigan game, and I'm going to meet a young Lola Miller in Ann Arbor. And we're going to have a beer together. And I'm going to say, you know what, Lola? I'll see you in a few years when we work together in radio. Yeah. You like that scenario, Lola?
This is getting scarier by the moment, Casey. I think it's time we went to lunch, right?
Yeah. We're going to lunch, Lola?
Casey and I are.
Oh, wow. She's never taken me out to lunch?
No.
Never. She's never bought me a hoagie or anything.
That's not true.
I find that hard to believe.
I paid for breakfast one day because he invited me to breakfast and then didn't have any money on him.
That happens with me, Yeah. But we got to get to Bridgeport, Lola. What's our favorite place?
Sunny Boys.
You ever been to Sunny Boys?
Yeah, of course.
You go in there with 5 people and a $20 bill, you get change back. All right? That was great. That was great. We got to do that, Lola, real soon. Hey, Lola, thank you for putting up with me for a couple of hours. It's been fun, and you know it. Casey, always pleasure talking to you, whether there's events happening or events not happening.
Yeah.
You know what's happening now? I'm out of here. All right? We are the Watchdog. Keep listening.